I'm Megan Hilty, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly video roundup of the most important stories from the theater scene, or as we like to think of it, American Horror Story Chorus Line. Let's start off with this week's news. What's the buzz, Kathy?
Here's some casting news that couldn't please us more. Tony nominees Danny Burstein and Linda Eamon will play Herr Schultz and Fraulein Schneider in Roundabout Theater Company's Broadway revival of Cabaret. Although it's a stretch to call Burstein elderly, we're envisioning a wonderful connection between him and Eamon as a Berlin fruit vendor who romances a landlady with a fresh and fragrant pineapple. Eamon and Burstein join Tony winner Alan Cumming and Oscar nominee Michelle Williams next March at Studio 54.
Matt Smith may be ending his time traveling as Doctor Who, but we still get to see him in the here and now. Smith's returning to his stage roots, starring in American Psycho the Musical at London's Almeida Theatre this December. Spring Awakening's Duncan Sheik and Spider-Man Turn of the Dark's Roberto Aguirre-Cerqueza have adapted the show from Bret Easton Ellis's provocative novel. We can't wait for Smith to take a stab at the killer role of Patrick Bateman, which Christian Bale infamously played in the 2000 feature film.
After 645 performances on and off Broadway, Peter and the Starcatcher will take its final bow. The inventive Peter Pan prequel, which won 5 Tony Awards and the Broadway.com Audience Choice Award for Favorite Play, is closing at New World Stages on January 12th. Although it will be a little less magical in New York City without the show's star stuff lighting up the stage, fans around the country can see the recently launched national tour and catch up with Boy, Molly, Black Stash, and more. Bon voyage, Peter.
These days, we can't get through an episode of the Broadway.com show without announcing TV and film gigs for your Broadway faves. So here's this week's update. Memphis Tony nominee Montego Glover will play an FBI analyst, whatever that is, on the following. Smash co-stars Megan Hilty and Christian Borle will voice a hippo and a ducky in the Disney animated film Lucky Duck. And maybe best of all, Patti LuPone has landed another TV role as a Garden State matriarch on Lorne Michaels' HBO pilot People in New Jersey. No doubt we'll be back next week with more. Good luck on your callbacks, Broadway stars.
I'm Cristin, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
This week, I headed to Lincoln Center to meet Ethan Hawke, Anne-Marie Duff, and the stars of the murdery new mounting of Macbeth on Broadway. The terrifying tale, of course, features 3 witches who throw all kinds of nasty stuff in their cauldron, like eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat, and tongue of dog. So I asked the stars which items they would put in their own personal witch's brew. But we're warning you, some of their answers are a little creepy.
I'd want George Bush's thumb. I'd need it. Gilligan's hat.
A Tesla? Well, blood would of course have to be one.
Whiskey.
A hell of a lot of chocolate in there.
The knee pads that Tim Conway used for Dorf on Golf.
Natural hair.
Honey. The hair of Keith Richards.
Maybe some cigarettes.
We'd want it to be vegan in this day and age, of course, so some broccoli and some beets.
Gene Simmons from Kiss. Something to do with his tongue. Elvis's toenail. If I had those things, I could make a brew that really would do something wild.
This week marks the end of Broadway.com's hit video series First Date Flirts, in which we asked Zachary Levi, Chris Rodriguez, and the stars of Broadway's First Date to answer all sorts of dumb questions about love, dating, pickup lines, and romantic horror stories. Here are 5 of our favorite soundbites from the series.
My first crush was in first grade, and her name was Julie Sandifer. She had a skirt that was pleated and it twirled around there, and I thought, I'm in love with her. But I didn't know why at that point. I didn't know it was her skirt.
This thing is the worst. So I have to wear this for the show. It is like the douche magnet. Like can I say that on Broadway.com? If I'm like on the train and my hand is up, they're like, what's your tattoo mean?
When I go to a bar and I hand someone asks me for my phone number and I'm too inebriated to say no or give a reason why, and I give them the wrong phone number, I always tell them my name is Nina. So if you're ever at a bar with me and some guy comes up to you and asks where Nina is, it's me, I'm Nina.
What's something that's like prim and proper and old and stodgy? Like, what's Maggie Smith's character on Downton Abbey? I feel like we have, probably our love lives are very similar in that they're not.
Like Tom Hanks and everything. Tom Hanks in Splash, Tom Hanks in Big, Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump occasionally. Actually, more than occasionally. Like the way that Forrest loved Jenny and Jenny would constantly treat him. And you know, that line was like, I may not be a smart man, but I know what love is. Like, that's what I felt like in so many relationships.
In last week's Smackdown, we asked which Breaking Bad star should come to Broadway, and Bryan Cranston outpolled Aaron Paul with 64% of the vote. Well, fans, your wishes come true. Cranston is headed to the Great White Way later this season as President Lyndon Johnson in All the Way. This week's showdown is inspired by the forthcoming festivities surrounding the 10th anniversary of Wicked. From cupcakes to nail polish to a new CD, fans will be celebrating this beloved musical. So here's an impossible question. If only one original star could magically descend into the Gershwin Theater for an anniversary flight through Oz, who should it be? Idina Menzel, who created the role of Elphaba, or Cristin Chenoweth, Broadway's first Glinda? Tweet your vote to BroadwayCom with the hashtag #BWaySmackdown and tune in next week for the winning witch.
The Bad Jews are back, and this time they mean business. In this week's Hot Shot, the show's side-splitting stars Michael Zegan, Molly Ranson, Tracy Chimo, and Philip Ettinger celebrated their second off-Broadway opening night and then hightailed it over to Bullmore Lanes and Times Square to cut loose. It looks like the funny foursome are tapping into not just their badness, but also their bad-assness in this hilarious moment captured by Broadway.com photographer Bruce Glickus. Okay, we're putting up our dukes and heading over to catch Bad Jews at the Laura Pels Theater right now.
Thumbs up to Chicago's Countess of the Clink, Roz Ryan. The powerhouse performer broke a Broadway record this week by logging 223 weeks as matron Mama Morton in the Tony-winning revival. Congratulations, Roz. Your 15 consecutive years of sass, brass, and class have made Murderers Row all the merrier. Here's to many, many more.
Thumbs down to Wikipedia for aging Broadway favourite Lea Salonga. The Tony winner is locked in a public battle with Wikipedia for listing her as considerably older than she is. Lea tweeted to her more than 2 million followers, "Dear Wikipedia, your unreliability is astounding. In other words, you suck." Salonga joins a distinguished line of stars that have discovered Wikipedia bans you from fixing your own entry. Shame on you, Wikipedia. Don't you know it's rude to reveal a woman's age, especially if it's wrong by a decade?
I'm Andrew Keenan-Bolger. You are watching the Broadway.com show.
Hey, look up from your iPhones, you Twitter junkies. This week's Tweet of the Week comes from Book of Mormon star Matt Doyle, who spent his Monday night with 3 resurrected witches, a virgin who really likes a girl's yabos, in fact, he loves them, and an immortal black cat with a British accent. Matt tweeted, "Hocus Pocus night. This shall include cider, pumpkins, baking, and rewinding SJP's scenes because everyone was quoting too loud." We hope Matt and his friends had a night of frolic, wore costumes, and made sure to run amok. Amok, 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 amok. You can follow this Halloween movie-loving Mormon at Matt F. Doyle.
Imagine aging 50 years in 2 hours. Now imagine doing it every single night and twice on Wednesdays and Saturdays. There's only one man in town who could fill the enormous shoes of storyteller Edward Bloom in the new musical Big Fish, and that's 2-time Tony winner Norbert Leo Butz. He's delivering such an energetic, moving, and extraordinary performance. We think he might secretly be Superman. Here's what he had to say about his larger-than-life new role.
I aged 50 years tonight for sure. When a piece is this rich, you know, it gives back to you. It gives you the energy that you need to get through, and you just ride that wave. You know, it's really fun.
Norbert, we have a feeling you're going to ride that wave all the way to the Tony Awards. Congratulations, you're our star of the week.
Thanks for watching another episode of the Broadway.com show. Before we go, let's jump into bed with Matilda course boy Ryan Steele, frolicking in his tighty whities for the dance video series Share the Mattress. You're welcome. See you next week.